In 1999, when I joined Swami school, I remember this was one of my first lessons I learned as Swami student there. Swami came out for darshan, went back to the interview room, he finished his interviews and again came out to the veranda to speak to students. So there were these new batch of MBA boys. I was in the school, then there were my seniors, MBA students, who were pleading with Swami for an interview. They said, Swami, interview Swami, please Swami, interview Swami. Swami simply said, I agree, please Swami, he said. Which means, please Swami first. Make Swami happy first. Then he'll give interview. Then, boys, no Swami, please Swami, interview Swami, please Swami. They went on and on and on. So Swami started walking away. Then, first Swami told the boys, see, wife leke aao, interview deta hai. He had told a lot of devotees who would come from foreign countries also those days. That wife leke aao, interview deta hai. Which means, bring your wife, I will give you interview. Okay. So Swami said that and he started walking away to the interview room. You know the scene of Prasanthi, right? There's a line on either side, the brass lines on either side of Swami. So Swami walked up to the brass line next to the interview room. He's holding the ear of that line and standing. Again the boys shouted, please Swami, interview Swami. Swami turned this time a little sternly and said, Swami kya bola samajh mein aaya? He said in Hindi, which means, what Swami told you, did you understand? So everybody kept quiet. And then Swami walked back to the students and said, see, your mind is the wife. Your mind is the wife. Your conscience or Atma, the consciousness, is the husband. The mind is the wife, Atma is the husband. If mind and Atma, that is the husband and wife, are in perfect tune, there will be harmony and peace at home, he said. That is, in this home of human body, there will be perfect harmony and peace if the husband and wife are in tune with each other. Then he said, if wife goes in one direction and husband goes in another direction, he punned with that word and said, as an example, he said the result will be diverse. You see, if they go in opposite direction. Therefore, for peace and happiness at home, it is paramount that the wife and husband are in perfect harmony. What is this wife? He said, your mind is the wife. Your presence, or Atma, conscience, is your husband. And they have to be in constant connect with each other. That is the significance of this marriage of Mother Sita and Sri Rama. Mother Sita represents our mind. Sri Rama is the Atma Rama, the Atma Tattva, our conscience. And the marriage between the two, the harmony results only when Lakshmana, the intellect, the sharp intellect, surrenders itself to our conscience. Our intellect, of course, is useful to do worldly jobs, to discriminate in the world, to take the right decision, so on and so forth. That's fine, that's its daily job. But fundamentally, every day we must ensure we surrender our intellect to the self. That is, we have to turn inward. That's the only way. That is what Lakshmana did. The only way to bring about the marriage of the mind and Atma, that is Sita and Rama, was for the intellect to fall at the feet of Rama. That is Atma Rama. This example Swami gives and says, Mother Sita was like that. And he also gives a contrary example because that is the Leela or the play of God that happened in Ramayana. That when Rama was sent into exile, Mother Sita was not asked to accompany him, but she still did, right? So when she chose Rama over the luxuries and comforts of her palace, she got Rama fully. But when she saw the golden deer and suddenly got attracted to that, and she chose the gold over Rama, that is, Swami uses the word, when she chose desire or kama over Rama, she lost Rama for those 10 months. That is not about Mother Sita, it's about our mind. When our mind seeks only Swami, we will get Swami fully. Why? Because he cannot leave you. He is already with you. Just that we are looking in the wrong direction. We don't know he is with us, if at all. It's because we are looking in the wrong direction. He is all the time with us. But when we go behind our desires alone and that's the only direction we look at, then we miss out on Rama, which is Atma Rama, Sai Rama, who is our very self. That's why Swami said, your presence is, can you tell loudly? What did Swami say? Your presence is my presence. See? So this is the lesson that Vaidehi, the daughter of Videha, gives us. That seek Rama all the time. Divert your mind only towards Swami and keep it rested at his lotus feet. Let's now chant Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram 3 times. Then be followed by a beautiful bhajan on Mother Vaidehi's surrender to Shri Rama. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
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 Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Vaidehi Priya Vaikuntha Rama. Vaidehi Priya Vaikuntha Rama. Vaidehi Priya Vaikuntha Rama. Vaidehi Priya Vaikuntha Rama. Avyo dharak Lakshmana Sevika Lavanyana. Lakshmana Sevika Lavanyana. Lakshmana Sevika Lavanyana. Lakshmana Sevika Lavanyana. Lakshmana Sevika
The third nearest and dearest to Sri Rama, Swami said, was Ahalyo Dharaka Rama. Mother Ahalya, who was given the curse to become like a rock. Swami actually clarifies this and says she didn't become a rock, she became rock-like, which means inert, jada. So that was the curse that she was given because of a small mistake of hers. So it's very difficult to understand the level at which people functioned in that era because dharma was the norm at that time. And even the slightest weakness of the mind was eliminated by them in their life. And therefore, the rajasic tendency that was there in Mother Ahalya, just for a little bit, blinded her own capacity to see through the false disguise of Indra, the leader of gods, who had come there in the form of her husband. And as a result, she was serving him without knowing that it is not her husband Gautama, Maharishi. And therefore, when the Maharishi actually came, he cursed Indra, no doubt, to become Sahasrakshi, that is, to look ugly, all over his body with 1,000 eyes. But he also had to curse Mother Ahalya because that rajasic tendency, Swami in fact says that we have 16 holes in our body. Do you know that? Have you heard of this? So if you consider our body as a pot, many of us may wonder, we do so many sadhanas for Swami, yet, I don't know if I'm progressing, still there are troubles and difficulties, so on and so forth, right? The reason for this is beautifully explained by Swami. Swami says that if you consider your body as a pot, right? And the shower of grace happening as if it's raining. Just imagine that Swami's grace is showering as if it's raining. If the pot is turned upside down, can you collect any grace in it? No. So the sadhana that you do is like turning the pot facing upwards. Right? So it will collect grace, no doubt. Whatever sadhana you do, you're collecting grace. But then, the problem is, Bhagavan says that the pot has got holes in it. Not one or two, but 16 holes. What are the 16 holes? Kama, desire, Krodha, anger, Lobha, greed, Moha, attachment, Mada, pride, Matsarya, jealousy or envy. Besides this, there is Ahankara and Mamakara, expressing through Rajoguna and Tamoguna. Right? The Rajasic tendencies and the Tamasic slothful tendencies. And then you have the 8 types of pride. Pride of youth, pride of knowledge, pride of being born in a great clan, so on and so forth. Pride of education, there are 8 such prides that are there. Totaling up, all of this totals up to 16. Swami says that in a human being, there are these 16 holes. So imagine your pot, which is now through your sadhana facing upwards and you're collecting grace in it, but it has 16 holes in it. What will happen to the grace that is collected? It will leak out. And do you need 16 holes to leak out the grace? One is enough. Yeah? One is enough. That is why, that was the problem there with Mother Ahalya. So, she had just one mistake and that was enough to leak the grace and therefore she was given that curse. But then, the wonderful aspect that we get to learn from this great devotee, Mother Ahalya, is this. Even though she was given a curse, she sought redemption. Her husband told her that when the avatar himself comes and by the touch of his divine lotus feet you will be redeemed. When she heard that, she converted her curse into sadhana. What seemed like a curse for her in her life, she converted that. That could be the worst thing that can happen. Imagine that you're left in your home alone, your entire house is ruined because nobody to take care, and you have become like an inert piece of rock in your own home. and look, nobody is there around you. Can it be any worse than that for anybody? Such a situation, she converted it into a possibility of penance. And she did penance for all those years, waiting for Sri Rama. And finally when Rama comes, and by mistake they say, his feet touches the rock and she is revived. Because what this signifies is, this human body of ours is like a rock. It is inert by itself. It cannot move on its own. Like you see a dead body. Can it move on its own? If it moves, it will be very spooky. Right? Because it's inert. It can't do anything on it. It is the divine power that functions, the Chaitanya or the consciousness that pervades through the body that animates the body. Right? Therefore, Sri Rama was that Chaitanya, that consciousness that came and touched the inert body and brought Ahalya back to life. You see? So in the same way, if we lead our life fully based on Rajoguna and Tamoguna, which means identified with this body, with a feeling of me and mine alone, what will I get out of this? How can this benefit me? What will happen to me? If these are the only thoughts of our life, then what will happen? These are big holes in the pot to begin with. Right? Then the second thing is, we will live like the body, because we are centered, our identity and thoughts are centered around the body. Mind has got no shape. It takes the shape of whatever it thinks of. Did you get this point? Mind has got no shape. It is just thoughts. Whatever thought is there, the mind assumes the shape of that thought. So if you are fully body oriented, desire oriented, that is the shape that you will take. Which means what? You will become stone-like, because inert, just like the body, because body is inert. You will not be expressing the joy and the bliss of the Atma Tattva, the consciousness that you are. And therefore, we need to first and foremost put effort, do penance, to withdraw our attention from the body and the senses as much as we can. And focus our attention on the self. Where is the self? Not there. Our presence is his presence. Not very far. Are you far from your presence? Is anybody here far from your presence? It's so close, just that you're looking in the wrong direction. Not close, it is you, but you're looking in the wrong direction. Right? So that is what Mother Ahalya did. And three qualities that she gives us to become near and dear to God is purity. Her penance purified her. Patience, she waited endlessly for Rama. So that patience purified her. And third was perseverance. She never gave up. So Swami looks out for this. In fact, in a discourse, Swami says, this he does to every devotee. What he does is he inspires you to do a sadhana. Then you do sadhana. So you have one hand in the world, one hand in your sadhana. Right? That's how most people are. What Swami does is, he stands at a distance where you cannot see. This is metaphorically. Right? He stands at a distance where you cannot see. That is, you don't feel Swami's presence anymore. Because he is looking from a distance to see, okay, let this child play with the world as much as he or she wants. Just like how a mother would hide behind the door and see the child play in the room. How long she will say? As long as the child is playing with his or her toys, right? The moment the child realizes, Hurry, I've been playing with the toy, where's my mom? And she looks around and sees mom is not there and cries out, Mama! Right? That's when the mother comes in. Otherwise, she's just watching from a distance. Swami gives this example and says, God is just like that. If you're playing with the worldly toys too much, he'll allow you to play. He'll just see from a distance. But when you realize that, oh my God, my mother is missing here, and you drop the toys and look for God, that is when he comes running to you. This is metaphorically speaking. He can't go anywhere leaving you, trust me. But then, this is how we experience life to be. Okay? Purity, patience, and perseverance. These are the three P's, as Swami would tell it. Is very important lesson that every devotee must cultivate through the life of Mother Ahalya. Let's now chant Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Keeping with time, we'll chant once Sri Ram, Jai Ram. And the bhajan, we will do just the first P. Is that okay? We can do it slowly with a lot of bhava. The idea is, every time you sing the bhajan, please remember the core lesson of this devotee and invoke that into the bhajan. That is how you add bhava to bhajan. You know the story behind the words. You know the feeling behind the words. And then the words itself, when you speak, has the power of those feelings and the story. And therefore the quality of the devotee is imbibed in us. We are not just singing bhajan then, we are imbibing the quality of the devotee. Next time you sing Kausalya or Vaidehi or Rama or now Ahalya, you must be imbibing their qualities, not just sing a song, right? Okay, we'll do Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram once, followed by the first speed bhajan. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Rama, Raya Sathya Rama.
Invoking the blessings of these wonderful devotees on each of us to love Swami the way they loved him. We go to the next and my most favorite part of this. The fourth one, Swami said, is Hanuman Sevitaram. Where do I begin with Hanuman? Swami says that there are 4 qualities of Hanuman which every devotee must cultivate to be near and dear. What are they? Shantudu means he has equanimity. Gunavantudu, he is virtuous. Balavantudu, has supreme strength in body, mind and all faculties. Hanumantudu, that is his name itself. Shantudu, Gunavantudu, Balavantudu, Hanumantudu. Swami would always tell this in discourses, right? So, Shantudu, once it happened, Hanuman had completed all his tasks. He had found Mother Sita, he helped in building the bridge, he fought the war, everything was over, Ravana was vanquished, Mother Sita has come back. So Rama held a meeting with all the Vanaras, the monkey army and the bear army, and he was speaking with them. And Rama wanted to demonstrate something to everybody. So what he did is, he called everybody and announced that Lakshmana, my brother, has served me the best amongst you all. He says, Lakshmana, my brother, served me the best amongst you all, and therefore I call him and, felicitate him in your presence. So he calls Lakshmana and, all that happened. It is said at this time, Hanuman was right next to Lakshmana. Can any of you guess what his thoughts could have been at that point? I would make a very freakish guess and say, what are you saying, my dear Lord? Lakshmana served you the best? This Lakshmana was lying dead in the battlefield. I went all the way to Himalayas, brought one entire mountain and revived him. Otherwise he won't be even standing here and you're saying, Lakshmana served you the best? That would be an ordinary devotee's thought. Not even a devotee, I don't know if you can call a devotee. But it would be an ordinary person's thought. But you know what Hanuman thought when Rama did that? Hanuman thought that, oh, my Swami is giving me a lesson. What is that lesson? Swami is telling me that I spent all my time in serving Rama. And in that, I forgot Lakshmana. I never served Lakshmana well. So what Rama is indicating is, Lakshmana who served Rama so well, I have failed in my duty to serve him enough. And therefore I must make it my responsibility to serve Lakshmana also henceforth. This was the thought of Hanuman. Can you imagine this? For somebody who did so much, he has no feeling that he did anything for that matter. And that is Hanuman. Shantudu, Gunavantudu, virtuous. When he went to find Mother Sita, he found Mother Sita. Then he thought he should shake up a little bit the entire Lanka, because that's also war strategy in a sense, because Mother Sita was very clear she is not coming with Hanuman back, which means that the war is inevitable, and therefore he felt that I must one gauge the enemy, second thing, shake them up a little bit. Why? Because if one monkey can shake them up, they will be scared of an entire army of monkeys. So simple strategy. So he goes and he does what needs to be done to get a direct audience with Ravana. So when Ravana doesn't offer him a throne, you know that he uses his own tail. He creates a huge throne at the same height or higher than Ravana, and he sits on it. He says, "This is my throne," and he sits on it. But then, when Ravana asks him for his introduction, "Who are you, O monkey?" Hanuman does not say, "O Ravana, I am the Amsha avatar, an aspect incarnation of that Lord Shankara whom you worship. If I want, I can crush you into a pulp in a moment." He didn't give such an introduction. He said, "Dasoham Kaushalendrasya. I am a humble servant of the son of Mother Kausalya's son." That's all he said. Dasoham Kausalendra. This is the spirit of Seva. Hanuman embodies the spirit of Seva. And to get near and dear to Swami is through Seva. But it should be done like Hanuman. You see, when he was asked his introduction, he introduced himself as a servant. When he was told that somebody else served better than him, he felt that, he must serve them also better. Maybe they were left out and he has to serve. That is the beauty of Hanuman. Shantudu, Gunavantudu, Balavantudu. No need to tell about this. He carried an entire mountain on his hand, which means any task that Swami gives, the devotee must be willing to do. So this happened to one of our students. He was a teacher and now he's moved out. He was sharing this experience. When he was a student, he was given this special opportunity that Swami would call him and give him some tasks to do. And in a satsang they had every night, so the students have a habit of having satsang before going to sleep. So in a satsang they were discussing a topic. Does Swami choose people who have capabilities, or does he give capabilities to those whom he chooses? So this was the question. Valid question? Okay. So they could not come to a conclusion. That is, they didn't find an answer to it. There was a debate. Next day, Swami, this happens in the hostel, right? Swami is in the mandir. Swami calls this boy who was part of this debate, and he calls him and says, take this sari, the collector and wife have come, they forgot to receive this prasadam, go and give this prasadam, tell Swami has given, give it to them, they are leaving back to their district. So this boy was wondering, no, how can he do? He has not seen the collector, he has not seen the collector's wife, he doesn't have the courage to ask Swami who is the collector's wife. Right? So he just takes that and he runs out of Prasanthi Nilayam in search. Now he's wondering what to do. He gets a thought. Thought is, those days they come early morning for darshan, they have interview, after which Swami leaves them, then only they go for breakfast. You remember those days where there's darshan and there's bhajan, in between is breakfast. So he remembered, maybe they went to breakfast. So he ran to South Indian canteen with the sari. And he asked, did they come here? The people there said, no, they came long ago and they have left. He still has not seen that lady, so he doesn't know whom he is giving this to. So he just said, collector's wife. So they said, no, they came long ago and they are not here. So what to do? Then he is wondering now where? Because Swami is waiting for a response from him that he has delivered. Right? So he is wondering what to do, and it has been done quickly. Again another thought comes in his head. Now the thought is, go to the accommodation office and find out what is their accommodation. Because he doesn't know where they are staying. So he runs to the accommodation office and says, such and such collector who was here, who was supposed to leave today, where are they? So they gave the room number. He ran to the room. He goes to the room and there he finds their car. Their car is there, but they are not. The room is locked. He asked the sevadar there, where did they go? Where is the collector and the wife? They said, we have no idea, sir. They have not come back. But the car is there. What to do? Swami is waiting in interview. You can imagine that. Swami is waiting in interview room for a response. And he is going to canteen, accommodation office, to the building where they were staying, in the west block somewhere. And then he doesn't know what to do. This is a dead end for him. How long can he wait there? Swami is also waiting. So then he gets one more idea. That those days, all the guests would also go and meet Kasturiji. Before they leave, they would go and meet Kasturiji, exchange pleasantries, thank him, and then go. Because Kasturiji was everything. He was the postmaster, he was Swami's biographer, he was Swami's translator, everything was him. So they would go and express their gratitude to him and then leave. So he got this idea and he ran to Kasturiji's house and they were there. And he gave a sigh of relief and said, Abba, finally I found. He said, Amma, Swami gave this to you, please accept it immediately, I have to run back to Swami. So he gives the sari to the collector's wife. Collector's wife is in tears. Swami has sent a sari for her. See? So she was in joy, he saw all of that, now he runs back to the mandir. As he's running and coming, Swami is standing outside the interview room. Outside the interview room door, Swami is standing like this with his hands behind, and he's telling something to the boys around. And all the boys are laughing. So as soon as he approached the interview room, Swami quickly went inside the door and shut himself. So all the kids, the students there were laughing out loud so much. So this boy was wondering what happened. He asked, what is happening? Why is everybody laughing? Then they told him, when you were gone, minute to minute live running commentary Swami was giving. From here you went to canteen. So the boys who were sitting in mandir are telling what he did. You went to canteen, from there you went to accommodation office, from there you went to the west block, from there you went to Kasturiji's room, and then you gave the sari and you came here. Is it right or not? The boys are saying. Everybody was sounding like Swami, no, the all-knowing one. Then they said Swami was giving live commentary till now about what you are doing. Okay. So this boy was so stunned by this experience and he was sitting there. After the boys communicated, Swami opened the door and came out. He came out and said, I don't need you to be capable for me to choose you. I choose you and you are capable then. I make those whom I choose capable. That is Hanuman's Balavantu. If you remember Hanuman's story, he didn't know he was capable of crossing. He had the capacity, but he didn't know. But Rama, whom did he give the ring? At that point, when the monkeys went in search of Sita, Hanuman was not capable of jumping over the wall. Whatever he might have been, he was not capable. That is there in the story. Whatever the curse may be. But what Rama did? He gave the ring of Sita only to Hanuman. Means he is the chosen one. So when he gave the ring to Hanuman, it means that Swami has chosen. And therefore he has to become capable. There is no other choice. And the beauty is, each one of us here, Swami has chosen. Otherwise you won't be here at this lotus feet. So he has chosen and therefore you are capable. Capable of his work at the highest magnitude. You see, that is Balavantu, Shantulu. This is how Seva is to be done. Shantulu, Gunavantu, Balavantu. So Hanuman's power to do any of Rama Karya was from Rama only. The same way, our power to do Swami's work comes from Swami only done. So which means what? Every time you are engaged in Swami's work, Swami is working through you. His power is functioning through you. That is the easiest way to connect to him. Isn't it? So that is Shantulu, Gunavantulu, Balavantulu, Hanumantulu. Hanuman means what? Look at the spelling of his name. H-A-N-U-M-A-N. Right? Here is Hanuman, but Hanuman. What does it mean? If you just split this into three, look at it carefully. H in capital means Bhagavan, his. Right? Anu, A-N-U, Anu in Sanskrit means atom. Atom or a spark, an atom. Now what are the last three letters? Not here but in Hanuman. M-A, man. Means man, that is all human beings are Anu, are atomic forms of the Lord. That is what Hanuman was and that is what we are. His Anu, atomic form is man. Every human being is an embodiment of divinity. That is what Hanuman communicated to us. And Bhagavan says, when we develop these qualities of Shanta, that is equanimity in service, no idea of I am the doer. It is just that Swami's Karya, Swami's work is happening, that's all it is. He is doing his work. Then Gunavantulu, quality to say that I am a mere humble servant of Bhagavan. Balavantulu, to know that he has chosen and hence you are capable. And every time you do his work. And you know what? If you take all of your life as his work, and not just talking about organization work, if you understand this simple thing, that every activity you do, if you simply assume the attitude, this is Swami's work, then he is functioning through you 24/7. Every work becomes Swami's work. See? That's how you remain always dissolved in divinity. Right? And then finally, he reminds us, Hanuman reminds us that we are all atomic forms of the Lord. We are all his own Amshavatars. You see? That's why he said in Gita, Mama Amsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhutas Sanatana, which means you're all a spark of me. That's what Swami does. Right? We are the same. So with this power of Hanuman, there's one story that you still need to know about Hanuman because it's important. I'm sorry, it's going to take a little bit of time, but Hanuman, after the coronation happened, Hanuman was always behind Rama, right? So it became night time and Mother Sita was to retire to the bedroom. Obviously husband and wife, they are going into bedroom in the night. Hanuman, casually, coolly, is walking into the bedroom, innocently. So Mother Sita said, wait, where are you coming? So he said, Rama is going to sleep here. I have been given the duty to snap my finger whenever he yawns. Night time, because everybody is tired, maximum he might yawn. So I have to be next to him. So Sita says, no, I will take care of the snapping of wilderness. This is our personal bedroom, you can't enter here. Then Hanuman, look at his innocence, the beauty of a devotee. Hanuman says, then what gives you qualification to be in his bedroom? So, being a very pious Indian lady, Mother Sita points to her sindoor and shows the sindoor and says, this is my qualification to be in this bedroom. It's enough, symbolic. You see, those days gestures were enough to communicate. So she just showed the sindoor, which means this is my qualification. Hanuman, you know his speed. He is Pavanaputra. He goes by the speed of wind. So in no time he went somewhere, found all the sindoor he can muster, applied it from the top of his head to the toe, and in no time he appeared in front of Mother Sita and she was shocked to see Hanuman red in color. She said, Hanuman, what is this? Then he says, Mother, if that small speck of sindoor on your forehead gives you qualification to be with Rama in the night time, look at me now. So I am going to come inside. So that is Hanuman. See the love that the devotee has. He can't imagine separation from his Lord. And he will do anything. Hanuman will do anything to be with Bhagavan. See, that is the amount of love that Hanuman was. That is what Swami wants in his devotees. You see? Hanuman Sevitaram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Jai Jai Hanuman, Jai Hanuman.
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 Maruti Raya, Jai Hanuman.
Maruti Raya, Jai Hanuman.
Maruti Raya, Jai Hanuman.
Maruti Raya, Jai Hanuman.
Jai Jai Hanuman, Jai Hanuman.
blessings on all of us here to love Swami the way he loves Swami. The last of the 5 that Swami spoke of, these are 5 keys for us to get near and dear to God, and this is the 5th key. Bharata Agraja Sri Rama. In fact, when Swami was narrating this, he changed the bhajan where it says Bharatashrita Sri Rama and made it Bharata Agraja Sri Rama. Agraja means elder brother. Rama, the elder brother of Bharata. Ashrita means in one whom Bharata took refuge. But he changed that. He said, I want it to be Agraja, and that day onwards it changed. That was the same day Swami gave us all these 5. And Bharata, where do we begin? Again, Swami describes this beautifully. As a child, Bharata went one day crying to Mother Kaushalya. He was weeping uncontrollably. So Mother Kaushalya took him on his lap and said, Bharata, what happened? You were all playing very nicely. You were having your games and sports. Why are you crying now? Did you lose the game or something? Bharata says, no, I didn't lose. I won the game. So Kausalya is puzzled. Mother Kausalya asks, Bharata, you won the game and you're crying? Yes, Mother, I won the game because Rama lost. This is what the little Bharata says. I won because Rama wanted me to win and he lost. And I can't see my brother Rama lose, he says. That is Bharata. In a glimpse. Going forward, when Rama was sent to exile, Bharata, as soon as he got to know, he finishes his father's cremation rites and rushes to Rama's presence. And there's a beautiful scene that is happening there between Rama and Bharata as portrayed in this painting. What happens is Bharata is pleading with Rama and he says, Rama, please come back and take the kingdom. I can't imagine you being exiled. Our Rama, who is blemishless, how can you be exiled? It is a mistake of my mother. So I want you to come and take back the kingdom. So Rama then says, my dear Bharata, I can't come back and take the kingdom because the kingdom is yours. Then Bharata says, if you say the kingdom is mine, as a king I am telling you I am giving it back to you, please come back. Then Rama says, oh, is that so? But then our father's word would not be fulfilled, he says. Because our father Dasharatha has asked a word of me and it is my duty to keep up that word, and he told me to go to forest for 14 years, I must fulfill that word. Bharata then says, brother, our father is gone. Our father is no more. So why are you insisting on this? Who asked you to do this? He is no more. So you can come back and rule the kingdom. Then Rama tells him, no Bharata, our father physically may be no more, but his word is not destroyed. The word that he spoke, that is what was communicated as his word, is not destroyed. And therefore, I must fulfill the word of my father, even if he is physically not there. Can you imagine this tussle that is happening between two brothers, where they are not fighting for property, they are fighting against it. That is, each one is saying, you take it, right? That is the glory of dharma. And this scene actually is a unique tussle that is happening. Rama represents dharma. Bharata represents prema, love. Out of love, Bharata is not thinking of dharma here. He is only thinking of prema. His intense love for Rama, right? And then he says, Rama, you take this kingdom. In this tussle between love and dharma, the decision is not being made. It's undecided. Why? Because they are not able to choose. Vasishtha, Brahma Rishi Vasishtha, the guru of the 4 brothers, Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrugna, is seated there along with King Janaka. Both of them are supremely realized beings and they both are there. So Rama turns towards Vasishtha, being guru, and says, please resolve this dispute between prema and dharma. So Vasishtha Because he is the guru, a guru is also like a parent, right? The guru naturally, like all the Balvikas, that is the SSC gurus, you know, all your children who come to you are like your prema putras, right? Like your children. You're all bound by love, Swami's love. So a guru is a parent actually. And therefore Vasishtha is in tears. Brahma Rishi Vasishtha, the absolutely stable one, whose 45 children were killed by Vishwamitra, and yet when there was a full moon, he calls his wife Arundhati and says, this full moon is shining so beautifully, like the face of Vishwamitra, who is the king of penance, he says. Can you imagine the fortitude that he has? Vishwamitra, as a king, before he became a sage, killed 45 of his children. And this is what Vasishtha, that is his fortitude. I am giving you a background to understand the scene better. And here Vasishtha is in tears. And he says, in my otherwise tranquil and still mind, I see a disturbance of emotion, seeing the scene of love between these two brothers. What a beautiful scene. That is what Vasishtha says. And then he says, it is not prudent that you take a decision when you are emotional. And therefore I cannot pronounce a decision. So he turns towards Janaka, the great realized Videha, and says, since you are my equal, I request you to pronounce. Janaka is undisturbed even in that scene. Because here Vasishtha is like the father of the two brothers. And Janaka, he says, this is not an ordinary tussle. This is the tussle between prema and dharma. Bharata is prema and Rama is dharma. And in this tussle, I declare that always prema wins, he says. Always prema wins. Love wins always over dharma. So the entire Ayodhya Vasis, who all have accompanied Bharata in order to bring Rama back to Ayodhya, they all start shouting Jai Jaikar, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Janak Ji ki, all that is happening. They are shouting Jai 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 to Swami because they are thinking Rama is going to come back because the judge has given his pronouncement. He said love is victorious in a tussle between love and dharma, and Bharata is a representative of love there. Then just like Swami, Janaka adds Kani, but love has its own dharma, he says. Janaka says. Love has, actually the scene has that, you see the one in the robes is Janaka, the one like the Rishi there is Vasishtha. It's a beautiful picture, that's why I picked this because this is the exact scene. So Janaka says, love has got its own dharma, duty. What is the duty of love? He says, it is the duty of love to inquire with your beloved what pleases them. So Bharata, you being the embodiment of love here, you must inquire with your beloved Rama in what lies his happiness. You must not thrust your happiness on him. So therefore ask Rama in what lies his happiness. This is the wisdom of Janaka. And then Bharata understands. Everybody understands the sublimity of life itself here. And then Bharata falls at Rama's feet and says, please tell me, my beloved. Please tell me, my beloved, in what lies your happiness. And Rama says, my dear, I have come for a task. And that task can only be fulfilled in this exile. And therefore I asked Mother Kaikeyi for these boons. She didn't send me here. I asked her to ask for these boons. And I am going now to complete the task for which I have come. My devotees are waiting for me, he says. And then Rama gives his padukas to Bharata. And Bharata receives the padukas of Sri Rama and he says, until you come back, I will reside right here in the forest. I am not going back to the kingdom. I will dress like you. I will walk like you. I will eat like you. I will not go back to the luxuries of the life when you, my beloved, are going to live like this, he said. And he never went back to Ayodhya from that day. On a beautiful mud throne that he constructed with his own hands, he placed the padukas of Swami. And he said, these padukas of Swami is the ruler of this kingdom. And I am a humble servant. He sat down at the feet of the padukas and he gave his, whatever Rama taught him, based on that, he gave that instruction to Shatrughna, who was actually running the administration in the kingdom during those 14 years. And when after 14 years, when Rama returns, he sends Hanuman. He sends Hanuman to see if Bharata has changed his mind. And Hanuman goes to check if Bharata has changed his mind. And what Hanuman sees is Bharata has lit a fire. And he says, I had taken promise from Rama that if he doesn't come back on this appointed last day of the 14th year, I will give up my life, and tomorrow is the last day. And therefore, if he doesn't come, I am going to jump into the fire and give up my life. That was Bharata. Hanuman sees this, he is not able to tolerate this love. He jumps in front of Bharata. They had their introduction because when Hanuman brought the Sanjeevani, Bharata actually struck him with an arrow thinking he is some kind of a demon. Then he had a briefing with Hanuman as to what's happening in Lanka. And then, so Bharata recognized Hanuman and that gave him hope. And Hanuman immediately told him, Rama is coming, Rama is coming. You see? And he said, Rama has asked me to tell you not to take any action, which is drastic, because he has duties to perform on the way, so he may be delayed a little bit. Because there are many rishis in the hermitages in the forest who are eagerly waiting. They are thirsty for Rama's darshan, for Sita's darshan. So Rama and Sita are doing their duty of giving darshan, and then they will come. So he has asked you to wait patiently, he says. And therefore Bharata doesn't conclude his life. But finally, when Rama arrives, Bharata joins him from Nandigrama, where he was. As they enter the kingdom of Ayodhya, the three mothers, it is said, if you have twins, the first person to recognize between the twins is the mother, obviously. The three mothers are standing there, and Bharata and Rama are entering the kingdom of Ayodhya. The three mothers are unable to identify who is Rama and who is Bharata. They look exactly the same. Why? Because in these 14 years of physical separation from Rama, Bharata was so intensely in thought of Rama, that is, his thought is not just thinking. His entire awareness, consciousness, his being was dissolved in Rama. And it was dissolved in such a way in Bhagavan, in Swami, that he started looking like Swami. And therefore when both of them walked, they didn't know whom to garland, because Rama and Bharata look exactly the same. And Bharata, even at that point, he recognizes the predicament of the mothers. What he does is, he takes the garland and puts garland around Rama, so that they recognize who is Rama. See, that is Bharata. So this happened after Swami's Maha Samadhi. A brother was asking me how that went in 2011, sometime back. So after Maha Samadhi, that is after the final Samadhi was made, somebody had told that we were, all those 3 days we were making those arrangements there. And one of them said that it is the tradition that when a Samadhi is made, the relatives have to stay with the Samadhi that night. I don't know whether it's a real tradition or not. Somebody came and told us. I still remember we were 7 of us left. Everybody had left Mandir. We had already been there 3 full days. The 27th April night, when Swami's Sannidhi was made, and all devotees had left. Everybody had left. We were just 7 of us there. And somebody told this to me. So I gathered all the other 6 and said, see, somebody is saying this is a tradition. If you want to stay, you can stay. And of course, all 7 of us stayed back that night in the mandir itself. And I was sitting behind Swami's Sannidhi, and I was wondering, I was asking Swami, now what? Now what? What do you want me to do after this? You have disappeared physically, now what? You won't believe, a very loud and clear voice told me, inner voice told me, it is time for Sarupyam. It is time for Sarupyam. That's the next topic. But it's the time for Sarupyam. So I started wondering, what is this? quite a few years before that, Swami had materialized a ring for me and he said Salokyam, Sarupyam, Samipyam, Sahijam. These 4 words were introduced to me for the first time. I'm not going into that for lack of time, maybe later. But Swami put the order Salokyam first, that is living in the kingdom of God, Sarupyam next, and then Samipyam. Not the order I'm presenting here, it was switched for me when Swami uttered it to me. And he made me repeat after him. So that incident came into my mind when this inner voice said, what are we to do now, Swami, that you're physically not visible to us now? It was, the inner voice said it is time for Sarupyam. And this is happening like 7-8 years after Swami told me these 4 words. And then I remembered that Swami's example of Sarupyam that he gives in discourses is Bharata. He says, when Rama's physical absence was there, Bharata's duty was to implement every instruction and every word of Bhagavan. Bharata's duty was to dissolve his identity entirely as a servant at his lotus feet. That was Bharata's duty. And when he did that, after 14 years, the divine qualities of Rama started flowing through Bharata. Actually, in terms of look, if you see, all the 4 brothers were very similar because they were born at the same time through the same grace, which is the divine pudding that they got. So they look very similar. But what really confused people about Rama and Bharata is not that they had the same form. Of course, they were mattered and all, because the scene was like that. But the tejas of Bharata, the divine exuberance that was flowing through Bharata and Rama are the same. What does that mean? That means Swami is saying, imbibe me within yourself in such a way that you don't exist anymore. Imbibe me in your heart in such a way that you don't exist. That doesn't mean you start wearing robes and working out. This is the most stupidest interpretation of Sarupyam. It doesn't happen like that. What is the true meaning of Sarupyam is you realize that you are not this body, you are not this mind, which means what identity you are left with. If you are not this body, when you are not this body and you are not the mind, what identity are you left with?
The presence.
The presence flows continuously and naturally, and that is Bhagavan. And therefore, from earning the grace of God by being a devotee, in this example of Bharata, one becomes a moving grace of God, but an unassuming grace of God. What did Bharata do? He didn't go and stand next to Rama and say, I look same as him, so worship me today. He garlanded Rama here and he fell at his feet. He fell at his feet and garlanded him to show that this is the real Rama. I am just a speck of his feet, speck of dust in his feet. That is Bharata. So this Sarupyam was Bharata, and that message that came to me from that day, I felt this very strongly, that this is not a message to me, but this is a message to all the Bharatas here. Because all of us are like Bharatas, and our Rama one day decided to dissolve his physical visibility. I just call it visibility because he has not gone anywhere. But physical visibility has dissolved. Even Bharata had the same age. Rama physically moved away from him. That's all, for 14 years. Right? But the duty that we have is that of Bharata. So with his lotus feet as our ruler, that is, what does it mean? Swami's lotus feet, Manasa Bhajare Guru Charanam. What is the Guru's feet? Guru means Gunadita Rupa Vardita. Guru has no form and he's beyond gunas. That means how can his feet, what does his feet look like? If somebody has no form, what is the form of the feet then? Right? Have you thought about this? So what is the feet of Swami then? That Guru Charanam, that feet of the Lord, is nothing but his own teachings. His message is his footprints. And therefore we surrender ourselves. We take that Padukas of Swami and place it on the throne. We sit down at his feet and take inspiration from his words and conduct the administration of life. That is the example that Bharata gave. And when we surrender ourselves like Bharata, then Sarupyam is our natural destiny. And as it was shared with me, I share it with you. It is time for Sarupyam. Sai Ram.